Get them, get them lips on.
Okay, we are live. So, welcome everyone to the next level conversation, Level Up with the Akbar's Lunchtime Tea Talk. Ms. Akbar, I just want to say thank you for this awesome tea that you helped to make today. Of course, ginger.
Exquisite. That's what they say. Exquisite.
This is all ginger today, right? Fresh ginger
I love
and
it.
ginger crystals.
I love it. Absolutely love it, my sister. Thank you.
Rejuvenate, revitalize, and regenerate. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And the amazing thing about what's going on in my life is that never in the history of my world have I had as much enjoyment, as much fun as I'm having now, right? And it appears that most folks at my age would be winding down, but I'm ramping up, sister.
Ramping up.
I'm ramping up. I'm looking for the next opportunity just to enjoy myself in the sun, having a whole lot of fun. But now, don't misconstrue that. When I say in the sun, having a whole lot, I mean in the light, helping families do what's right with their finances. So I just enjoy doing that. I'm having so much fun with it. And so, what do you think about what's going on with you right now, Miss Rachel? Because it's about the five F's, and I can never get away from it. Today we're talking about fun and intentionality. Being intentional about whatever you do. And so, we've been pretty intentional here lately. As we discovered this most recent information that was imparted on us. But now I want to ask you this one question, Miss Rachel, because you are looking absolutely fabulous. I want you to know that,
Thank
right?
you.
And so, I don't want you, I don't want you to blush on me, right? But now, when you look in the mirror, and I know you see a similar beauty that I see, but when you look in the mirror and you think about tomorrow and the enjoyment that today is bringing, how can you enhance that tomorrow? What are you gonna be doing better with the five F's: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun? And today is about fun, intentional.
Yes. Well, thank you for asking that question, Mr. Akbar. And it still goes back to self development for me. Being a grandmother now with 18 grandchildren and one great grandson, I know it's definitely just not about me. And of course, I'm married to the most amazing man in the world. So I
That
have
must be me.
to, yes, that's you. I have to continue to reinvent myself, to make sure that I am moving it with the times, that I'm growing and not just staying stagnant in my belief systems, stagnant in my limited belief systems, and stagnant in where I am today. I'm always looking to where I'm going, not so much, even though I do stay in the present moment and I'm grateful for all that the Lord has blessed me with. But I definitely want to always consider where I'm going, And I was just tripping today because I was looking at just a few areas in my house and I was like, I'm tired of looking at that. So, what does that mean? Sometimes it means to just clean up and rearrange and let go of so that new things can come in, And because I can be a person that kind of, I'll say I have hoarder tendencies, but it's more so with sentiment. I hold on to things because of the value that it has sentimentally. And sometimes I find that those sentiments aren't always good, you know so I've had to let go of, started with dresses that I've worn at different people that I care about funeral, and then every time I look at the dress I think about that funeral, that sad time. So I'm like, let me get rid of this, because it's not a feel good to me, even though it's a beautiful dress and probably had many more years of wear. It still bogs me down in my emotions and also my mental capacity to be open to possibilities. So I'm having to clean up and let go, you know, um, of things. So when you said intention, fun intentionally, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, absolutely. So I want to be delivered in my life because the time is of the essence for me. You know, so I got way more behind me than I have in front of me. That's just because of the way things are now with life expectancy, and its limitations. But so now, just imagine now, if I'm not deliberate and intentional about what I do, you see, I don't have 3 or 4 or 5 years, to be following around, trying to figure out, different methods of, operation or so on and so forth, right? And so what I've learned, as I'm enjoying my life, my new enhanced life, because of the company that I'm with that allows me ownership to take charge of my time as well as my income. I'm just enjoying it, and it's challenges along the way, And as I'm faced with different challenges, I'm looking at them as projects, right, to be resolved.
Mm.
And so, when I stay focused in this type of mindset, then my creative ability, just to resolve conflicts, just to move through life with grace, knowing that on the other side, even when I'm gripped sometimes with fear, I enhance that, knowing that if I can just get right on the other side of that fear, all the enjoyment that life has for me. But you see, getting stuck in desperation, and I mean, can you imagine, your thinking process as you trying to enjoy your life wherever you are, but now your thought process is locked into desperation,
Hmm.
limitations. I mean, can you imagine the type of thinking that comes with that?
I
You
can.
see? So,
Hmm.
the scenarios are all going to come up that supports desperation and limitations. So I'm enjoying my life with intentionality. You know why? Because I'm making that a part of my personality.
Mm.
I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I
Mm.
didn't know I was a poet. I used to write a little poetry. Remember the beauty of being to a woman, but not mine. All right, talking about you. But now you're mine. Be my soul, be my heart, be my life, be
Well,
my mind. Just
excuse
be
me.
being mine.
You,
I'll be time if you be eternity, because one cannot be without the other's company. There is no time without eternity, and without you, there is no peace within my mind. You don't remember that?
I do. I was going to ask you, can you recite the whole thing from the beginning? But I didn't want to interrupt.
You got to know. We just give a trailer. We just giving
Oh,
trailers
sorry,
today.
sorry. Okay, and thank you for that. And being intentional starts with exactly with being present. And then also writing out my goals, writing out my desires and my wishes as well, not just muddling through, but actually being present to, where am I? Asking myself those questions, where am I in my life today? Am I achieving my goals? Am I where I'd like to be at this point in my life? And what things do I need to do to improve the quality of my life and where I'm at today? And a lot of it is accountability, just being accountable for even my thoughts. That's why I think it's so important to share with someone else what am I thinking and believing, because I at points and times could be my own worst enemy with my mindset and where I may be at emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So I definitely have to check in with myself and, do a body scan from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, just to let the inner child, that little young girl in me that sometimes still cries out for attention, affection, be heard, be seen, be loved, be appreciated. Sometimes I have to validate myself and give myself those type of recognition, and not look for it outside, because what I do know is that most people are just trying to survive. Most people right now are still trying to figure it out. So I can't really put my life in their hands with hoping that they're going to validate me when they're just trying to figure out where they're at. And so fun for me really comes into play, because I've always said if you work hard, you need to play harder. And a lot of times you got to go have some fun, intentional fun, to regenerate, recharge your battery so that you can continue to do the things necessary in order to move forward. LaShawn says, right. LaShawn has joined us in the conversation. So I mean, when I'm watching these videos on self development and I'm reading these books, that one special one, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, I think that video on YouTube is so important, because it's like the devil is talking to you on a personal level, but you get opportunity to see if some of those things that he's saying on how he gets you. And one of them is drifting. He gets you through drifting. Then you can ask yourself, where in my life am I drifting? So when I ask myself that question, for instance, this morning, I know I have my second children's book I've been trying to put out for 2 years, maybe longer. I called the company and say, hey, what's going on with my book? Because I've already paid for it. So let's get it going. No man knoweth the hour. We don't know how long we have still on this earth. And I want to leave here empty. I don't want to leave here with all my dreams, goals, aspirations in me because of fear. I never stepped out on faith and tried to bring them to fruition. Even if I fail, man, I'm failing forward today. Yeah, I made some errors. I made some mistakes. It didn't quite come out the way I wanted to or thought it should or according to someone else's interpretation, but I did it. I did it. So now I get to step out and really go have some fun. Like I'm getting ready to be turned up in Cancun. I can't wait. Why? Because I put in the work. I went out and helped some families. I helped them to, share some information with them to help them and their families become financially free and more so educated on the possibilities. That's what I love about our business. We educate families on the possibility. So when someone doesn't sit down with me or someone says, not right now, I'm not ready, I know that they're denying themselves. They're depriving themselves because it wasn't until I actually sat down with a financial professional, found out where I was going wrong, why I could never get ahead, why I always had more month than money. Why every time I planned to, put away some money, I had to go in and get it for something, and so now I had to start back over again. At 53 years old, I don't mind saying my age. I'm so grateful for every year that God allows me to live and breathe. And, I woke up this morning, I made the roll call. So I got to definitely ask myself, how can I make my life better today? What can I do today that's going to enhance not only me, but my friends, my families, my loved ones, people around me? How can I become a better version of Rachel? Because when I leave here and I get to my spiritual side, I want to be the same replica, as Ed Milet would say, as the person that God intended me to be. I don't want to meet my spiritual self and she's so glorious and magnificent and I don't even hold a candle to her, because why? I didn't do anything to hold a candle to her. So yeah, I'm on a huge crusade, on a quest to just be better than I was yesterday. So that's my intention. Is that what you mean, Mr. Akbar?
That's some pretty powerful stuff. My Lord, that was some pretty powerful stuff. I was just imagining, just the places that, it's possible for us to go as a result of the business that we're now a part of, opposed to how I had been so limited in the past. Just in my level of enjoyment and having fun. And so it was intentional in that I was permitted, as I made my vacation request. I was permitted. And so, it couldn't be like it is now. I can decide to go on a month vacation.
Yes.
Right. So I know with my company, 2 weeks, that's about the extent of it. And when you start pushing out beyond 2 weeks, they start looking at you with a raised eyebrow, and so because you work for them. And so, so the idea of whatever I was doing when I was working for somebody else, even when it came to having fun, going on a vacation, and just enjoying it was always that restriction around it.
Yes.
Because somebody was missing me on their job. So they say, but the idea about it is right now, where I am with this whole process of enjoying my ability to live and enhancing my thoughts about how I generate the energy that I'm going to be involved with in my own life. You see, so I'm going to be able to generate the kind of energy that I want around me. But it all starts with me. And so, when I'm packing up, I'm just thinking about this, right? The anticipation of going on a vacation of your dream. You see, and now you're putting everything together that's required to go on that vacation, your dream vacation, right? Can you imagine just the enjoyment that you're having with just anticipating where you're going? What you're going to need to get there. You're putting your clothes in just a neat section in the suitcase. You're making sure everything is strategic. You're tying it all down, right? And all of those things, right, you're intentional about. Because you're going on this charm vacation that you've been planning on doing forever, and now it's happening. Well, imagine this becoming your life now. And now you're planning your life. Your life is this dream vacation that you're going on, and you're planning it out So you don't want to leave anything out. You don't want to miss your essential items that you need to have in your suitcase. And then you want to make sure that your carry-on has everything that you want to carry on. You see? So everything is strategic. Everything is intentional. So now here's your life. You see? And it's entirely up to you to live it with intentional enjoyment, with intentional fun, being delivered in your efforts to make it all better. And why? Because you know now you're generating this kind of energy that's going to affect other people. You see, and then there's the attraction. It's that universal appeal, right? When you start that energy flow, and that orbit starts moving, everything in that gravitational pull is coming to you. You see, but see, the thing is, right? People lose the ability to have fun about it. And when you lose your ability to have fun about how you're living your life, then what starts to happen is you start now maybe pulling into that gravitational arena. You start pulling in now desperation. You start pulling in lack and scarcity mentalities. You start pulling in everything that you really don't want as a part of your life. But because now you're generating this kind of energy, you're pulling it to you.
Yeah.
You see, so now I'm intentionally creating the kind of energy that I want in my orbit. Does that make sense to you, Ms. Rachel Akbar? If so, let's take a toast
Yeah, I want to take a toast.
to making sense,
Yes.
to being intentional.
I agree because we have been conditioned in this society to always think negatively, to always pull out something wrong. It's almost like an identification, opposed to this is a wonderful day. We both woke up this morning. What you got going on to really, thrive and make this a great day. What I learned is most people start thinking now all the things that are wrong. Well, I got to do this. I got to do that. This person died. This person lost their job. And then now the conversation goes around into all of the things that are wrong, opposed to let's just separate ourselves from negativity altogether. And as soon as you start talking negative, put $1 in the bucket. That's how you can start changing the whole process of your thinking. Because if you think, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to put $1 in the bucket if I start talking negative, you're going to consciously now start thinking positive thoughts, bringing positive energy. And I don't know if you remember, but the old folks back in the day used to say, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. And if you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. So
yeah,
what I'm learning is life is full of challenges. There is going to be both good and bad things happening one day. And if I don't learn to appreciate both, perhaps I'm going to miss something that's going to help me grow. So I understand that. But what I'm doing now is accentuating the positive opposed to concentrating on what's not right and the negative. So now I'm just focusing more on what I can do right opposed to what's not working right. And as a result, I'm getting more right and more positive energy and actions and people. And when I look back on the end of my day, I'm like, wow, that was an amazing day. So I got a lot done, a lot to be accomplished, and the things that maybe I didn't get done, I can table it for another time and, set it aside, but not make a whole negative connotation about it. Just say, well, you know what, God willing, I'll get to that tomorrow or when time permits. So, hey, Teresa Miller just said she watching us. Hi, sister. Yeah, so go ahead, sir.
So as a result of you having this amazing life now, and what you referred to earlier as this amazing husband, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you intend to do? Because we're talking about intentionality. Living your life with intentions. Not by default, not because circumstances are what they are and you just rolling with it, but understanding with the mind that you have the ability to create your own circumstances. And now you've been put right in the middle of that level of creation where now it's entirely up to you. Show me my life with Precious Rachel.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Show it.
Well, if we keep, doing the right thing for the right reason, communication to me is the key. I think a lot of times where some people miss the mark is they hold stuff in instead of finding a way to express themselves that's non-offensive to someone else, where they can get their point across and then get to the other side. I think too long we hold on to resentment, we hold on to doubt, we hold on to fear, anger, mistrust. And in holding on to those things, we're not able to let go. So it's like your hands are clutched like this all the time. You have to be able to open your hands to receive. Even your self-doubt, your fears, you can say what it is. Write it down on a piece of paper, pray over it, burn it, bury it, throw it in the ocean, whatever you got to do with it. But my mother used to tell me a long time ago, it's okay to have fear, but don't let it stop you. Take your fear with you, but just go. Reminds me of the word of God when it say, don't take a begging bag, just go, because the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. So man, I'm going out there, right? Despite of whatever my head is telling me is wrong with me, guess what? I can overcome it if I still go out and accomplish whatever it is, what I will. I remember growing up in the nation years ago, there was a big sign in the nation say, rise up, ye mighty nation, and accomplish what you will. And that was so powerful to me because it let me know that I can accomplish whatever I will. What is my will? Now do I want to lay up all day on the couch and be a couch potato and talk about what if and what could have been and what should have been? Or do I want to just pick myself up by my bootstraps and say, what do I want to accomplish? What is my dreams? What is my goals? What is my passion? If it's going back to school, getting a master's degree, okay, research some master's programs and go for it. If it's changing my whole career and learning that I'm worth more than I'm getting paid, I no longer have to be a slave to employment. See, we got so conditioned to thinking we got to go work for somebody else. They're never going to pay us what we're worth. They're never going to honor us the way we need to be honored. They're never going to treat us equally. And I'm not saying go quit your job right now. No, sometimes jobs is a means to an end. But I had to ask myself, what do I really want? Because what I had was not what I really wanted. And I was just spinning my wheels trying to make something happen that was never going to happen because I never could get above ground. So now I'm actually starting to ask myself, God, help me, show me what your will is for me and give me the power to carry it out. And let me step out on faith. And if whatever skill I need to make it come into fruition, if I don't have it, I have people and places and things to go to for it. And I learn how to ask for help. I learn how to ask for help. I intentionally now say, hey, I seek out the winners. Who's a winner in whatever I'm attempting to do? Because whoever's a winner, I'm going to go gravitate towards them and start asking them, how did you do it? What would you suggest I do if this is something that I want to pursue? And then not only that, I take notes and then implement it immediately. So that's intention. And I'm going to drink to that, Mr. Akbar.
Man, let me have a sip as well.
So we have about 7 more minutes for our lunchtime tea talk, next level conversation, level up with the Akbars. If Miss LaShawn or Miss Teresa has a question or something that they want us to talk about, Teresa says, and then where a look of us makes, and then where a look of us makes the mistake by doing for all the wrong reasons and expect something in return, but you have to do for your heart, God will reward you. Definitely. And so, that's why prayer and meditation is so important, even when we're talking about fun, because for me, what fun used to be almost killed me. So now I had to redirect my fun and figure out, fun doesn't have to necessarily be using drugs and drinking alcohol. I found that I had so much more fun afterwards because I can actually be present, present to the fact of I don't need all of those things to help me or to enhance me having fun. I have more fun when I'm in a clear mind, clear state of peace. I can show up, I can get cute, I can stay cute because now I am so present. So I guess that's intentional too, right, Mr. Akbar?
Absolutely. And when you're talking about it like that, I was just reflecting on the different types of fun that I used to think I was having. And just imagine this, right? Now, I took my adolescent daughter and one of her friends to the amusement park. Great, wasn't it?
Great
Uh,
America.
yeah, Great America. So we went out there and got on it. I got on that Medusa.
Uh-oh.
Now, I didn't intend to do that, but I'm with these young children. They challenging old Big Papa, right? And I know I don't like getting on no roller coasters. And I got
Mhm.
on that Medusa. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! And so but the idea was we was out having fun, right? And I got on this thrill seeking thing. Oh my God. But anyway, I got off alive.
Uh-huh.
And it's crazy, right? Because I had already got off the doggone thing and I got back on a second time to prove I got on, and I ain't been on since, but I got on the second time to prove that I'm never going to do this again. Now,
Okay.
what kind of fun is that? Right. But I'm just saying, how we get tied into these different ways of having fun and, one thing leads to the next. But this is what I want to come to this point of having fun, having a level of enjoyment with my life committed to helping somebody. You see, and so just the overwhelming sense of joy and fulfillment, right? My life is just absolutely fun, right? Because
Mm.
when I wake up in the morning, I pray. Before I put my feet on the ground, I'm praying all through the day because I'm glorifying God in all that I do. You know why? Because He has given me the mind of going through life in spite of the bumps in the road, in spite of all of those hurdles that I got to overcome. God has given me the spirit of humor, and I
Mm.
get through it. I get through it with the spirit of humor, and every knock I look at as a boost, every
Mhm.
stumbling block I use as a stepping stone, and I'm conditioning my mind to see life like that. So there is
Mhm.
nothing that can interfere with my enjoyment. There is nothing that can interfere with my sense of purpose because I'm intentional about
Mm.
one of the F's that we own right now is fun. And it's
Yes.
deliberate. I intend to enjoy this day. When we get through with this, me and my wife are going out to some place near the water, and we're gonna connect with some families, and we're gonna do some business as we enjoying our day in the sun. And that's what I
Mm.
was saying earlier. In the sun,
I
we're gonna
love
have
that.
some fun. In the light,
Yeah.
we're gonna shine bright.
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I just want to encourage and challenge everyone to be intentional on challenging your belief systems. Challenge some of the information that you were taught. Because, when I used to work with children, I remember when one time I was sitting there reading a fairy tale and I was like, this ain't nothing positive to be reading. The Goldilocks and the three bears and the three little pigs and all of those fairy tales was traumatizing. They weren't wonderful, talking about Hansel and Gretel and throwing the witch in the oven. And I mean, come on. So we were already programmed to have fear placed in us by those storybooks that we used to read. So I just want to encourage all of the past information and the things that we have been taught, challenge it with the new information that you have in regards to spirit. Challenge it with where you're trying to go intentionally in your life. And just because it was something of your past don't mean you got to hold on to it. Just because it was a tradition passed down, guess what? Sometimes broke people. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about broken spirit, broken traditions, broken training, broken information, you know. So just be careful with what you're holding on to and know that at any time, if something doesn't serve you, you can let it go and you can pull something new that's positive, useful, wonderful, and that you can apply it to where you're at in your life today. So, yeah, Spirit put it on my heart to say that. I think it's so important, that we don't have to hold on to those old belief systems. We don't have to hold on to something just because it was passed down by someone that was broken themselves, that may never have gotten help, that may never have gotten therapy about the trauma of those books that they used to get read to them. I remember reading that book about Hansel and Gretel to my grandson one time when we was on the road. We was in a wooded area and he was acting out. We was in the car and I started telling him about Hansel and Gretel and chopping the breadcrumb, and his eyes started getting big. I saw the terror in my baby's eyes. I said, I ain't right telling him this story. Let me stop that. And so that's what made me start thinking about, hey, I got some trauma behind them stories too. So we need to change our stories. And that's why I came up with my children's book, The Tales of Penwar Panook, Be Careful Crossing the Street, and The Tales of Penwar Panook, Penwar Going to Mexico, will be out in a couple of weeks. Man, and he's so turned up having a good time. I'm going to change the whole trajectory of the storytelling era. Well, now we're going to have fun in our storytelling and no trauma and no post-traumatic stress that's going to be implemented in my books. Okay, so anyway, Mr. Akbar, we are 33 seconds over. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in with us with our lunchtime tea talk, level up conversation, next level conversation with the Akbars. Next Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, we are going all the way back around to
Faith.
Is it faith? Yes.
Faith,
All
baby.
right.
It is. Faith is up. That's number one up top. Faith,
Yep.
family, finance, fitness, and fun.
Fun.
In that order. In that order.
So thank you for
So
being
see
my
you all
amazing
next time.
co-host, my amazing co-host and my amazing husband. And we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful day and treat yourselves well and take care of yourselves. Peace.
And don't forget to have fun. Peace and blessings.
Intentionally, right?